Good morning. And my warmest welcome to the many alumni joining us for this morning's chapel service, which features remarks from Chanler Miller, class of 2018, and a memorial service.
A man travels the world over in search of what he needs and returns home to find it. George A. Moore.
And into the forest I go, to lose my mind and find my soul. Chanler.
Good morning. My name is Chanler Miller, and I'm a sixth form boarder from Hanover, New Hampshire. Yes, New Hampshire. While many of you may not know where Hanover is, I can assume that you all have heard of Dartmouth College. That's Hanover, and that's where home is. Obviously, living on a college campus for much of my life has its benefits. Great food, great restaurants, it's always busy, but for many of you, however, New Hampshire must seem like the wilderness. I am, and have been for my 4 years here, the only student from New Hampshire, and that fact comes with many of the same questions. Oh, you live in New Hampshire? Have you ever seen a moose? Well, no, I've not seen a moose, and no, I do not live in a hut in the middle of the woods. Coming to a prep school in Connecticut from New Hampshire to a school that is seemingly populated by the greater Fairfield County was not something I had necessarily envisioned. During my first year at Westminster, I tried to push back against being from New Hampshire and tried to act and be like someone from the greater Fairfield County. But in the 4 years I've been here, I've learned to be proud of the fact that yes, I am from New Hampshire, a place that has beautiful mountains, amazing lakes, fantastic skiing, not so great phone service, and no Uber yet. So, when I was beginning to write this chapel talk and told people I was writing about home and New Hampshire, many of my friends were not quite sure what I meant. Home? What do you mean, home? Yes, the idea of home, or the idea of place, may be complicated for many people, but to me, the idea of home is one of the more important aspects of my life. I mean, of course, I could have chosen a different topic for this chapel talk. I could have written about traditions, like how every time my family and I drive over the Piscataqua River Bridge to Maine, we roll down the windows to let in the Maine air, a tradition my family has done for generations. Or I could have written about some cool experience that I've had, like when I did a Knowles program in Wyoming, and it rained every single day. But instead, I landed on home. Although Westminster is a special place, I've always appreciated that 3-hour car ride up Route 91. I want to thank my mom, for she's driven me from our house over 50 times. Really, just because of long weekends and winter and spring break, it's more than 50 trips. The car rides home have actually become one of my favorite parts of coming here. That 3-hour drive suddenly has helped me realize how important my home, Hanover, is to me. A few years ago, during one of these car rides, I knew immediately when we had made it home. When we left campus, it was pouring rain. We passed Springfield, Massachusetts, still raining, through Holyoke, Northampton, Deerfield, and Greenfield. It was still raining. But almost eerily, quarter, it began to snow. That's when I began to get that feeling, a feeling that I know many of you know as well. I am home. And for the 50 or so miles of green mountains and fields between Brattleboro, Vermont and exit 13, it was snowing. And no, it wasn't slushy, gross snow, but heavy, white snow. We get off the highway, and there it is. Ledyard Bridge, bringing me back to New Hampshire. After that, the intersection of Main Street and Wheelock Street, where the light just never seems to turn green. That left turn on the Rip Road, where a cop always seems to be waiting. The red house on the left. My house. The old maple tree in my front yard that astonishingly has not yet died. My dog, Calvin, barking at literally everything. The smell of something cooking in the kitchen as I walk in, the creaky staircase up to my room, the view from my window over the Vermont mountains. This is home. So for basically my entire life, I've been lucky enough to have been surrounded by people who have had a strong sense of home and of purpose. My grandfather, who passed away last year, knew exactly what home meant. He firmly believed in this idea of home. Although he drank scotch like a fish, smoked cigars for most of his life, and was probably the most stubborn person I've ever known, he loved his family. And by this I mean, he loved his home. He had come from nothing, working as a gardener during his early years in his hometown of Nahant, a small island suburb north of Boston. He worked his way to receiving a scholarship to the University of Minnesota and began working at Alcoa, an aluminum manufacturing company, before transferring jobs in his early 40s to work as a banker in New York. So what did this story have to do with the idea of home? My grandfather knew where he came from. He knew where his home was. He was proud of the fact that he came from nothing and created something for himself. That is what was important to him. Working his way from practically nothing to creating a happy and successful 19-person family. That is what made him proud, and that is what made him feel at home. So at the beginning of this chapel talk, I spoke about New Hampshire and coming from New Hampshire. So what does any of this that I've just talked about have to do with New Hampshire? Well, it doesn't. It has to do with the idea of home and knowing where you come from. So yes, I am a crunchy granola, 18-year-old guy from New Hampshire, and yes, I go to a well-known boarding school in Connecticut. But I still know where I've come from, and I still know where home is. So I think that it's only right, with 14 days until graduation, to be talking about home. Although the past 4 years have gone by much more quickly than I've ever envisioned, I think I can now call Westminster a home. No longer does that weird smell around Squib bother me, nor does the awful water pressure in the showers. The walk from Squib to Armour doesn't feel unknown, but familiar, routine. The feelings of being home in Hanover have begun to creep their way into my life here, creating a sense of comfort and familiarity. I know that for many of you, it must seem like you have just gotten here, or maybe it feels as though you've been here for too long. But when it's all said and done, spending 4 years of your life in one place, it truly begins to feel like a home. As I will be leaving Westminster in the next few weeks, I now know that home does not have to be one place or one thing. For my grandfather, As long as there was family, he was home. For much of my life, my parents have made my home. But as I get ready to leave Westminster, home for me now is both a place and an idea. I could walk into any house, but it wouldn't feel like home. I could visit any other prep school, but it still wouldn't feel like home. It is the advisor meetings with Mrs. Wood, the hall feeds and squib with Mr. Wiseman, walking into Miss Heckman's classroom, and so much more that really does make this place feel like a home. I now know that regardless of where I am or what I am doing, I can always come back to this school on the hill or to that red house in New Hampshire and know I am home. Thank you.